Hello, my name is Martin Webster and I am the Director of the New Leaf Programme, which is an NLP training company and I've been running it since 2010. I'm the creator of HMS Therapy, and HMS Therapy is an effective treatment for all stress-related conditions. HMS Therapy can benefit your life. By using this tool, you can move forward in your life and achieve your goals. If there's anything stopping you from achieving your goals, it will be an emotional blockage. HMS Therapy is designed to go in and target the root cause, negative emotions connected to anything from the past, some past trauma that's holding you back. Once you do HMS Therapy, you will find you'll be able to achieve your goal and move forward to have the best future you possibly can have. So let's talk about HMS Therapy. How is this going to benefit you as a prison officer working with veterans serving in jail, serving long jail sentences? First thing you need to do is identify what is the root cause problems, and we use the meta model techniques for this. If you pick up your manuals, the first thing you'll notice on the front cover is the front page and the HMS Therapy logo. The whole purpose of this is to show that we're not just working in the mind, but we're working in the heart and the stomach, and that we're going to target all negative emotions that are connected to the root cause problems. The first thing we need to do is, once we've got our client, is make them feel relaxed, safe and secure. And once you've done that, you can then start with your questioning. The first thing you need to identify is use the client data sheet to work out what are the specific problems. Now, if you look at your client data sheet now, you'll see the first thing on the client data sheet is client, write their name down, practitioner, yourself, the date, the location where you're working from, the prison that you're working from, the diagnosis they may have been given from the GP, medications, any meds they're on, you need to make sure they're written down there. Epilepsy, yes or no. If they are epileptic, we would possibly advise not to work with them. Self-medicating, are they self-medicating? Make sure you've carried out a safety assessment, and also ask them if they're suicidal. If they say yes or no, even if they say no, I still want you to go through the suicidal therapy intervention. Ask them why they want HMS Therapy. You must confirm the motivation to change, and why do they want to change. Personal goals, we need to find out if they're going to have a personal goal. If they don't have any personal goals, by the end of the session they should start to see their goals come clearer. Client notice. The prison accepts no responsibility for any client that does not get a result from HMS Therapy. The client does agree to use HMS Therapy to achieve unconscious change. The prison promises no cures, but we can give you advice and guidance after the treatment process. You then need to get a signature from them to say they accept responsibility, and that once they start the therapy, they cannot back out of it. They need to keep moving forward. Make sure you do your pre-therapy assessment. And what I mean by that is 0 being not a problem and 10 being a real severe problem. You need to find out and gauge where they are with their mum and dad. And the reason why we do mum and dad, if you look at the Morris-Massey stage of development, the 0 to 7 is the imprint period, so it's going to go back to their mum and dad, or whoever their guardian was. So 0 to 7, 0 to 10, where would you say that your anger is towards your dad? They might not have any anger towards their dad. Ask them which parent they get on with best, and then find out the one that they least get on with, what would be the number of severity of how they get on with that person. If the anger is, say, a 10 towards their dad, make sure you circle that. And after doing the therapy session, you can go back and then get another conscious measurement, i.e. ask them, between 0 and 10 now, where would you see your anger towards your dad? If they say it's a 2, you mark that down. And then at the end of the session, you get a signature from that client to say that they've taken part. So when you can refer back to this, you can say, right, they say, oh, it hasn't changed, that hasn't changed, this hasn't changed. Go, right, go back to the anger that you had towards your dad. How do you feel about your dad now? And they're bound to say, oh, it's not a problem now, give me a number. They say a 3. Well, that's interesting, because before the session you was at a 10 at the anger towards your dad, and that's how you do a conscious measurement to make sure that they've changed. So I'm going to talk about Alfred Korzymski and his model around the parabola model that he came up with, we have the experience, the external experience, and then underneath that we have pictures or images or words, so what we call semantic coding beneath that. And what we're trying to do with the HMS therapy is chunk down to the root causes, which will be deep within the subconscious mind. HMS therapy will target those root causes, and then using meta model questioning, Milton model questioning within the actual HMS therapy, you can reprogram and reframe the negative emotions connected to the root cause problems. HMS therapy is a combination of NLP and therapeutic hypnosis. It was designed to target the root cause negative emotions based on the drop-down model, which Michael Hall and Bob Bodemore, who looked at the work of Alfred Korzybski and created what's called as general semantics and neurosemantics, looking at chunking down to root cause problems to find an innate intelligence. So when I discovered HMS therapy, what I recognised was the emotions were trapped deep within our heart, deep within our stomach as well. When people talk about follow your heart, gut feeling, I knew that there had to be somewhere down here within the organ of the heart and in the stomach, intelligence, emotional intelligence, that once you change it, you can then never experience that problem the same again, because your perception will have changed and you will have moved on from that problem. I'm so passionate about HMS therapy because I know that once you've experienced it, it's the only thing that can get, what I mean, is down to the parts that other therapies cannot reach, because nobody is going into the heart, nobody is going into the stomach feelings, the emotional intelligence within our stomach, the emotional intelligence within our heart. It was Aristotle that said that the domain of all human intelligence was within our hearts. And I think as we move this therapy forward and we start to change the lives of so many prisoners that are in our UK prisons, this could be massive. We're on the brink of something really big here. Let's work with the first intervention, which is the traumatic memory intervention. This is a fantastic technique. I can reframe a traumatic memory in 15 minutes. You will be able to do the same if you follow this procedure. So you start off with the conscious measurements. Do you have a traumatic memory? Yes or no? Do you want to let go and change your perception to that memory? Yes or no? It's very simple. Are you aware that once we start the therapy that we cannot stop? You've got to keep going through the process. What would it be like to change your perception and let go of this memory? So you're doing a bit of future pace here. You're making sure that they're getting their idea. What will it be like? Say for instance, if it's a car crash that's preventing them from driving, this is going to have a massive impact on their life. 0 to 10, 10 being extremely traumatic and 0 not being a problem, what number would you give it? If they say 10, you know that once you've changed this and we go back and do your post measurements, you will know how much they've changed. Why do you want to change? Confirm their motivation to change. If they do not want to change, they will not change. If they do want to change and they're congruent with that, they will change. Are you prepared now to let go of the most challenging negative emotions in the context of the traumatic memory? Say it's a car crash, we'll use it as an example. Can you feel that negative emotion? Where do you feel it? They say it's in their heart. They say they get anxious every time they get in their car. Brilliant, fantastic. We've got somewhere to start from. Yeah, you won't get the anxiety in the mind because we don't do feelings in the mind. You'll get the images in the mind, but the feelings will be in the body. Guarantee it. Remember, you're totally safe and you're totally in control at all times. Repeat that. Is it okay now to trust your heart, your mind and your stomach? Because you're working in the mind, you're working in the heart and you're working in the stomach. We're going to make all of those, we're going to make the heart, the mind and the stomach work together as a unified team, moving forward congruently to achieve those goals. I want you to drop down through the specific negative emotion that when overcome will allow you to change your perception to this traumatic memory. What's the negative colour? No, there'll be a negative colour and there'll be a negative feeling that's attached to that. You want to just get them into that, right into the sort of nitty-gritty of the problem. Once you've got that colour, just say for instance it's black, drop into that traumatic. I want you to drop down through to your heart, the most toughest, challenging part, the most horrific part of the car crash. Are you in that traumatic memory right now? Yes. If they say no, keep going until you hit that memory. They'll hit it, believe me, they'll hit it. What's the negative emotion beneath that? They drop beneath that. That's right, what's beneath that? Drop below that. And you keep going. You've all had that experience now in your training, you've gone through the therapy, you know what they're going through, you drop through those layers, you drop through those words, you drop through those colours, you drop through those sensations, and you keep going. If they say, I don't know, that's just a conscious block. We've got to get through that BS, and the way we do that is go drop beneath the don't know. Drop beneath the nothing. What's there? I don't know. Nothing. If they've not paid for their therapy and the therapy is providing for them and they have no motivation to change and they don't want to change this memory, the conscious could just keep producing this BS, right? We're going to keep going through that. What's beneath that? What colour's connected to the nothing? What colour's connected to I don't know? What's beneath that? What's beneath that beige? What's beneath that nothingness? Eventually you will come to 2 positive resources, and that's when you know that you've reached the innate intelligence. Now track that traumatic memory, drop down into it. You've got to keep going until you blow out, get the 2 positives, right? Now check that traumatic memory. Is there any negative words, negative sensations, negative people? What's happened to them? They're gone. That's right, they're gone. If you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going, you'll eventually get to that where you'll blow it out. And there's demonstrations of my videos where you can see me doing HMS Therapy. As you get more proficient as a practitioner, your language will get better. But I guarantee if you drop through those layers, you're going to really change all the submodalities connected to the pictures, the sounds and the feelings connected to that traumatic memory. Right, what are the positive emotions, positive feelings, positive sounds, positive vibrations that are attached to that memory now? They might say, oh, it's a lovely pink colour. My family are there now, not this horrible car crash. Or it's me confidently driving a car. Okay, is that positive? Did you go, heart? Yes. What would this do for you? Yes. What would it do? Now we're chunking back up. But we've dropped them down to the worst part, and now we're chunking them back up using the Milton model language. We've used meta model to drop down, and we're using Milton model to chunk back up. Okay, how does this serve you? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What's that going to do for you? Anchor, 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 anchoring, using NLP to anchor these positive resources around them. And eventually, well done for changing what needed to be changed. Place all this positive, more anchoring. Now see a clear new image of yourself in the future. How do you look? So we're doing future pace now. We're going to take all the resources that we've just attained. We've smashed the traumatic memory out of the way, and now we're taking these positive resources and we're taking them out into the future so they can see what their life's going to be like. Okay, is there any negative feelings connected to you? No. If there is, yes, go back in. Drop beneath that. What's beneath that? What's beneath that? Keep smashing it out. Okay. And now you finish, you can gently open your eyes. Right, they've come out of state. Okay, traumatic memory. Between 1 and 10 now, how painful is it? About a 2. Well, it was 10 earlier, that car crash, and now it's come down to 2. Fantastic. Write that down in your client data sheet. Okay, what image has replaced it now? That's me confidently driving a car. How close to your face is that? Now this is checking the submodalities. If you look at the submodality lessons, we'll talk about pictures, sounds and feelings outside of our conscious awareness. How close to your face is it now? How will this change your life? Are you aware of how much you've changed? Now if they don't have the emotional intelligence to not recognise how much they've come from being a traumatic memory, being a scale of 10, to now being a 2, then that's down to them. At the end of the day, you know you've done your job, and if they don't recognise that, that's down to them. It's all about them taking responsibility and taking control of their futures and their destinies. You're not a crutch, you're there to facilitate the change and to help them move on and achieve their goals. Good luck.